Hi everyone, I am coming with another YouTube video. I know we have not really been as active on our YouTube channel just due to the fact of everything going on. We have been doing so much work. We are in the process of composing or compiling our first inaugural documentary, which is called No More Silence and Gun Violence. Nonviolence is Life. It is a very long name, but it's symbolic to me. I thought of the name, or I just recollected the name when I did this for my class project or assignment last semester. I'm in school, so it's my last semester of school right now. So I did that as an assignment, like a speaking presentation, and it was just like to create a flyer or newsletter or something of the sort. And this is the topic that I came with, something. It stood out to me when I thought about it. Not that only that it rhymed, it meant more than what I was doing the class thing on. And I felt like, so it could really be real. So I decided to just name our first documentary that. I have a documentary recording at 12 today, so I'm just at school doing this recording, trying to do this recording anyway. It's 11:33 right now, so I'm super excited. Most people that I've been doing the recordings are the people on my e-board. They literally were so interested that they wanted to join my organization. So I'm just like, you know what, we could also do the recording there too. So if you're interested, I will put the link to the sign-up form for the documentary. We are going to release it in March, towards the end of March, when every video is compiled together, and it'll be produced. And so you guys, it's going to be free or low cost to see you guys. I really can't charge. I don't feel like I should charge people, but if things push comes to shove, we should just charge like $5, but I'll see how it goes. I really love doing this advocacy work, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I just wanted to come up here and just say that since January 2023 has started, we have already had multiple mass shootings, one being the Lunar New Year last month, where two Asians decided to commit mass murders of their own people. The most recent one that was Asian, he said that he felt disrespected, and that is why he killed 7 people. But they caught him. The first one who murdered 11 people at the dance studio, and he wanted to continue going to another dance studio and also murder more people, but a brave civilian who should not have to do this, because we should not be living in this norm anymore. Just wrestle the rifle away from him or the AK-47 or the AR-15, whatever weapon he had, away from him, when it's literally law enforcement's jobs to do stuff to de-escalate the situation. But he came out and said that he did not want this to be more than it already was. People have lost loved ones now because that suspect just decided to go and murder people's family members. There was personal connection to some of the people he killed, and he did end up killing himself in the van that he came there with. They realized that after he was in the vehicle, no movement though, but they realized that he did commit suicide by firearm. We're not trying to give recognition to him because he's the one that did this. He took lives of people that were loved there's just no words to say, because America has become so normalized to it, has become so numb to everyday gun violence in the news. Just yesterday or the day before yesterday is another one of our Africans in New Jersey. She was a councilwoman. Her name was Eunice Duwumfor. She was shot and killed on her way home, murdered blatantly in cold blood. She was shot 3 times through her window. She did not make it. She died on the scene, and her car rolled and crashed into another Mercedes-Benz, and she left a daughter behind, and she just got married. She was only 30, literally my sister's age. There's something that has to be done to stop this reoccurrence of gun violence on a day-to-day basis, but we just have to figure out what are we going to do. I was quoted in ABC on Tuesday. We had our advocacy day, with Moms Demand Action in Maryland, and our governor spoke, our newly elected governor, our newly elected comptroller, governor, more survivors of gun violence, allies, advocates, the chapter lead, everybody spoke on Tuesday. It was really moving, even though it was raining heavily. I wasn't under the impression that it was going to rain. I had no coat on. I had no umbrella. Never again, because I think I probably got a cold from this. Not COVID, just the cold. And it's really heartbreaking now that we're just living our norm, that gun violence is just something that we have to live with. And lawmakers have actually said this, that, this is something we should live with on a day-to-day basis. It's really not. We should be able to go out, come home safely, make sure you come back to your family members, because that's what you did in the morning. You left them to go out to work. You should be able to come back home. But a lot of people are just saying that's okay to deal with gun violence like this, and it's really not. It really breaks my heart because I really have nothing else. I don't know what else I could say anymore, but it's just like it hits home when it's more highly impacting the African American community, or the communities of color, or people that identify as different races and ethnic groups. It happens to every race: white on white, black on black, Asian on Asian, Nigerian on Nigerian. I don't even know where we got that, because we weren't raised with rifles, guns, anything. We weren't raised with that. Like I've always shared, my dad has a pistol in his house, but it's locked away. He has a handgun because, one, he was in the military for 24 years, and he's literally trained to do what he needs to do and protect his family. But he would never use it as a mass weapon of destruction. I don't know how you could wake up and say, this is what I'm going to do because they disrespected me, or they just did this or they did that. And I know everybody I also want to say that the death of Tyre Nichols, whose death had nothing to do with gun violence, but it was at the hands of police that looked just like me, that looked just like him, that are now saying that all this was because he was dating, or he was with a police officer's girlfriend. Or the ex. I don't know. If this is true, that's just stupidity at the finest point of stupidity. It's not one. If you wanted to talk to him, if you wanted to pull him to the side and say, hey man, you've been messing around with my girl, or this, that, and the third, do that on the side. Be responsible. You know your actions. But then again, these black police officers that have had multiple infractions upon them in the service. And it gets to the point now that somebody's son is gone because of the brutal act of violence they instilled on this young man. 29 years old, a father of a 4-year-old child, a family man, an outgoing, joyous man, but no longer here because what? 5 black people that describe themselves as police officers. Thankfully are fired, thankfully are hopefully, I think they're on bond or whatever, don't know why. But people that look like you and me, that look like me, it's just surprising that they are not for us. I always say this, that if you were in uniform, or even if you are, the other person that's also in uniform would be the first person to turn against you. It's just because of the color of your skin. And you should know this. History is in the making. History has it that we're not meant to succeed, but guess what? We're changing that norm. This is the 21st century. We're not historically still speaking. This is Black History Month, okay? We are taking our pride. It honestly needs to be Black History Month every month. I claim it as every month for me. Just forget the 1 month. I'm doing it every month. I know my worth as a black person and a black woman and a woman of color and a person of color. I do. I'm trying to go further. And it's just like having to just repeatedly do Instagram lives, tag your legislators to go to advocacy days because we're having so much more death by guns. What are we going to do about this? Where do you see Canada having this? Where do you see Australia having this? Where do you see other countries that have access to firearms have as many mass murders as we do, or mass shootings? Where do you see that? We don't see that because our country so focused on the Second Amendment that that's all they really prioritize. They're not prioritizing our lives. They're not prioritizing our abilities to be able to live longer. They're prioritizing how much the money the NRA can make and how much money the gun industry can make. You do realize that you can't sue the gun industry. The people who make the firearms, you're not allowed to sue them. But they're changing that now. They're making more laws that whoever bought their firearm from that company, from that dealership, can be charged. Because, like, look at what happened in Uvalde, Texas, the school shooting. Look at all these mass murders that took people's children, took people's loved ones, adults. But I don't understand what is going on that we have to continue to wake up and see this in the news and just nothing is done. That's why we're also planning a panel in March 28th from 2 to 4 to hopefully at my campus before I graduate from the school to talk about, it's going to be called Enough of No Change, because there really has to be change. My school has been impacted by gun violence. Everybody that is here is a person of color, is somebody that is described as a minority, and we all have been impacted by gun violence in some way. It is sad that my college is like that. This is a school that Nancy Pelosi graduated from. I don't think that this was how it was back in her day when she graduated from here. I think it was like 1988 she graduated, but it's still like, it wasn't like this when she went here. Nowadays, people that graduate from here and do work and, doing better things for themselves are not making it any longer or not surviving. It's just really sad. And I don't even know how to express my emotions with this anymore. But also doing a survivor wall this month, on the 13th of this month, that they're going to have a wall. People can bring memorabilia. They can bring words of encouragement, words of motivation to people who have lost loved ones to gun violence, because it should not be our normal. I'm going to leave it here. Let me say this one last time. Gun violence should not be our normal. It should not be our normality. It should not be the norm that we see on a day-to-day basis. We should not see people dying, losing their loved ones to gun violence, because this is a public health epidemic that can be stopped. It can be treated, and it can be prevented. So if you know the ways to educate your communities, educate your loved ones, tell them the wrong and the right of having a firearm, the right ways to lock it up, the right ways to keep your family safe. If you want a firearm, do so, because we can also keep our families safe from being unintentionally wounded or even shot and killed. I hope you guys are having a great Friday. I hope you guys have a safe weekend. Be safe out there. Stay warm. Honestly, I'm praying for this country. I just don't know what else we can see and say, because we have just been seeing too much gun violence on the norm, and that cannot continue to happen. So I'll leave it here. I may be utilizing this YouTube channel more often, probably starting maybe weekly videos on Fridays around the same time. But I will talk to you guys then. If you guys want any topics to discuss or issues to write about in regards to gun violence, you can leave them in the comment section. I will definitely read them. And if I haven't commented or replied to your comment on my last video, I apologize. It's been so busy. But I'm super grateful for y'all's support. We need to work together. I'll talk to you guys later. Stay safe out there. Be blessed.